In this video, I'm going to go do some of the price action and looking at the potential resistance and support price zone for the MAG-7 stock. And then we're also going to look at the three memory stock, Micron, Western Digital, and Sandis. All right, looking at Tesla, we're going to come back to here, and you see that the price broke through this area here and move up and found resistance. Then it came back down and test this breakout area a few times before it came back up and broke this area and into this new high here, and came back and then put another push into this high. And you see that it came back down and checked this area once again for support. And now this time it was unable to get back up to this zone here. And it came back down and tested support again. And here it broke after the earning. It broke down and came back down to this original break of resistance here that started all the way up to the new high. So now it's coming back to this high volume area. Now you notice that there is a high volume node here, and it did get a bounce here. So I wouldn't be surprised for the price to come up here and possibly get a rejection and push us back down. But if we can get to here on this high volume zone, I'd be looking for the price to come back up to this area here. So basically what I'm looking at right now is something like this, and then come up, and then we'll see where we're going to go from here. It could be coming back down and, get back into this area here, somewhere around 250. But you never know, right? But right now, we're basically watching this area here to see would it get a rejection and push us back down, or would it just go right through and come up here to this 370 area and then get a rejection. And here on Apple, let's come back over here and look at Apple, right? It broke out of here and come up all the way up to this 320 area. Then it came down and test for support here. See this, right? It broke out from this pivot high here and came down, check for support, and come back up and found resistance here. Then it broke down and found buyer right at this high volume area. And then it pushes up into a new all-time high, and came up here and then came back down and checked for this for support. So basically, all these are basically a break and retest, right? Support to resistance, resistance to support. Then it went into a new high, broke this high here, and went to new high, and then on earning, it came back down. And where did it come down? It came down to right here where it found resistance initially here, and then broke through. So right now it's coming back here and check for support. So what we'll be looking at is this possibility to come up here and check this area once again, and possibly for resistance, and then push this back down into here at this 290. So that's what I'm looking at for Apple. You're looking at Amazon. Amazon broke out of here from their earning and into a new high. So right now, I'm basically it's not going to chase this thing and probably look for some kind of pullback into here, this area, to check for support and then see what it gets support. If it doesn't, then I'm basically looking for the next area of support or potential support is 260. So the initial look is watch the 280 area to see on a pullback would it be able to find support and then push us up to a new high again. And if it doesn't, basically looking for the possibility of coming back down to this 260 and see where it finds support. And for Google on earning, it broke down and came down here and broke this low support here and came down close to this area where it should be testing for support. But it got a nice bounce and recovery. Now it's coming back up to this resistance here. So what I'll be watching for Google is to see would it be able to break through and come back down, do a little bit of a retest, and then push into a new high, or would it get rejected, and then we're basically looking for this thing to come back down and check for this area here, somewhere around 310 for potential support here. But for Meta is pretty much in a range bound. It's a big mess here. We're going to see would it be able to get to this high volume zone here. If it does, then we're basically looking for this thing to come back up to this 680, 690 area. But if it get a rejection here and push back, then we're basically looking for this 560 and 540 area to get retested and come back down, possibly to this 500 area, this high volume node. For Microsoft also got a nice bounce off the earning here, and you could see that it came up to this area of resistance. So right now, we're basically looking at Microsoft to see if we come pull back and do a retest here to see would it be able to find support and then push it back up and possibly work itself toward the all-time high territory, or would it get rejected and come down and check here for potential support and possibly come back up here and then work its way back down? And that's basically what I'm looking at on the downside for Microsoft. Nvidia have been testing this 195 area for quite a long time and finally broke through and came up and took out this high here, then pulled back and tested this 195 once again, found support. Then it pushes into an all-time high and came back down. And right now it is testing this 195 once again. So the thing to watch is, would it be able to get through here and then come back and push it into a new all-time high? Or would it come up and then breaks this and here, break down from this 195 and get back into testing this 160, then maybe you get a bounce here and then work yourself down this way. So that is one of the scenario on the downside. So the upside is basically we want to see would it be able to break this 215 area, do a little back test, and then push up into a new all-time high. And Netflix been sold off ever since the couple earnings ago, and no different this time, but it does seems to be able to find some support down here at this 64, 68 level. So right now it's getting a little bit of a bounce and bouncing back up to this 72 area. So what we're going to be watching for Netflix is, would it be able to come up and take out this 80, come back down and do a little bit of a double test and push us up, back into the 90s and possibly get up to this high volume area. So we'll see, would it be able to turn around and come up and find some support, here in this area and break out from this resistance and into the 90s. Now, if it doesn't, say for example, it just kind of hover around here and then come back down, then I'll be looking somewhere around this 160 area to get retested for possible support here. And here looking at AMD, AMD is scheduled to report earnings tomorrow, so I'm not going to say too much about it because it's a binary event, and so is it going to go up, go down? Yeah, it goes sideways, but I doubt it. But regardless, you see that it is kind of hovering in this low volume node here, and there is some resistance support area in this this price zone here. Right, it broke through, came down, test for support, and then broke down, and then come back and test for resistance. So it could go either way tomorrow after earning. If it come up and do a retest, and it could push through up into this area here near the 560, 580, or if get rejected from earning, then we're basically looking at the possibility of come down to this 400 and 360 area. And here looking at Micron, you see Micron also got a little bounce back up here to this 830 since the big sell-off, right? Ever since this earning report here came down, found support here and bounces back up and found resistance near this 1000 level. And then it pushes back down and almost got down to the 700 level and got a nice bounce back up and into this high volume node before it came back into this 850 area. So what we'll be watching for Micron is to see would it be able to come up and take out this high here, come up, come back to this 1000 level and possibly move to, with a successful back test for support and then move back up to this 1100 area. But if it is unable to even get above this 850, and we'd be looking at the possibility of coming back down to this this 700 area. So we'll be looking at this 700 for the near term for possible support. And if it failed this, then we're basically looking at the possibility of coming back down into this low volume area somewhere around this 620. And for Western Digital found a little bit of a support down here and went up here. It never got into this area here. So right now we're going to see would it be able to come up and find check for resistance here. You're basically doing a little bit of a back test up at this 600 area and see come down and find support and then push through. But right now it appears that it might come down and do a little bit of a back test there and push through into this 320. So I'll be looking for the break of this 440 area. If it fails to hold this area here somewhere around 500. And here looking at Sandis is coming down pretty hard. And right now it just recently found a little bit of support down here at this 1000. level and then came back up to somewhere around this 1300. So right now we're going to see would it be able to continue to push up into the 1600 area and see would it be able to hold there. If it's not, get rejected back down, then expect it to come back down to this 1300 level, then do another push up into the 1800, 1900 area. But if it doesn't hold and it come down, then I'd be looking forward to break this 1000 level and come down to this 800, then come back and do a little back test of this 1000 and break through and get down into this high volume node near the 600. Then we probably be looking at Sandis come back down into this 300 area. Those are the scenario for the Magnificent 7 stock and also the memory stock. So I hope you enjoy this short video. It's basically looking at these zones, right? Defined by the volume profile, these low volume zone. That's potential resistance and support area, and looking for a break and a retest type of price action on the way up and on the way down. Thank you for watching and good luck on your trading.